Now, this is my cousin, so y'all better be nice and don't harass my cousin. I'm telling you right now. I love my family. But Chantel often makes very polite statements towards the videos that I make, and I appreciate her sense of respect, and I give her the same amount of respect back. She told me close but not quite, because people don't even know how to treat themselves, which is a very true statement, but I'm going to dig down to the bottom of that. And that there are people who will unalive themselves, and therefore they will go and unalive other people. This is true to a very, very, very small degree. In most cases of people who have unalived other people and are in prison, or people who are serial unalivers, they themselves still cling to the life to which they have. This is why when you see them in prisons, if someone is trying to attack them, they defend themselves vigorously. When they are on death row, they cling to life and try to find some type of redemption within themselves, because they know that everything has been taken out of their hands, and yet they still cling to life. Most people who are psychotic enough to unalive someone else still clings to their own lives. There are people who are in prison who unalive someone yet has family members, and if someone was to unalive them, all of a sudden they get all in their emotions, yet they are unalivers themselves. So most people who will commit that atrocity still cling to their own lives and the lives of the ones that they love. So it is that very, very small community of people who are willing to do to themselves, unalive themselves as they would to other people. Incredibly small. But when we're talking about people not knowing how to love themselves enough to be able to treat other people right, you are absolutely right about that part. The overwhelming majority of people do not love themselves in a way that they should be able to love everybody else in a just way. Most people are selfish and only are trying to gain the best that they can possibly get for themselves, of what they determine to be the best, regardless of how it may impact other people. But where does that type of thinking come from? You see, almost every religion teaches in one way or another that you should treat other people in the way that you desire to be treated yourself, as well as how you treat your family and all those others around you. But then all of those religions are conflicting in other teachings that suggest that they are special and are above everyone else because of their belief in their particular God, and that everyone else is going to suffer because they do not believe in the God to which that person ascribes to. And with things of conflict like that, it causes people to not recognize how to truly love themselves to be able to love others. Because these religions, for the most part, teach that those people who were not willing to love this particular God, that in the past this God genocided those people, they do not know how to love themselves, because they see other people as the adversaries against their God. In most of these religions, women are treated as secondary citizens, or at worst, treated as property along the lines of cattle. And so they grow up with a sense in the back of their mind of always being told about how a woman was forced to marry this man because the fathers made a deal, or how a woman had to cleave at the edge of the field and then submit herself at the foot of a man in order for that man to take notice of her and then connive his way into marrying that woman. How a woman was sitting there minding her own business, and this guy comes in and impregnates her against her will. How a woman who has been essayed by a man, and then he pays the bride price, now she has to marry that man. You see, the Bible and other books are filled with these things. Islam, the women are second class. They have to pray behind the men so that the men won't be looking at their butts, and then that causes the man to sin. How is the woman to be blamed? You see, there are so many contradictory attitudes in these different religions that talk about love your neighbor, love your enemy, all these sorts of things, but yet and still tells the enemy or tells the neighbor that if you don't believe what I believe, and if you don't do it the way I do it, then you are disrespecting my God, and therefore you are beneath me, you are lower than me, you will not go to heaven, you will go to whatever hellscape that my God has waiting for you for all eternity. Of course a person doesn't know how to love themselves, because this deity doesn't teach them how to love themselves. These deities teach people how to only love this God and not actually love themselves. It doesn't teach them that they are self-sufficient, that they are wonderful, that they are beautiful. It doesn't teach them that they come from a higher stock, and that everybody comes from that stock. Not, oh, we're the chosen people of Islam. We're the chosen people of Yahweh. We're the chosen people of Jesus. We're the chosen people of Brahma. And if you've done something bad in your past life, then now you come down in a lower caste and you have to suffer and to satisfy your dharma so that you can come up to the higher caste. You see, these religions are filled with these things, and they've been replicated in society. The place that you live in has a high Latin Hispanic culture. A Latin Hispanic culture that has been taught by their previous colonizer that the lighter you are, the more Castilian blood you have, the better you are. And that type of teaching, they stem it from their book, from their religion. And it's the same thing in the Indus religion, Indus culture, which was instilled in them by the British and the Dutch, and yet they still perpetuate it and made it a part of their religion. In Islam, the Arabs are considered to be closer to being the children of Allah than anybody else. Religion teaches separation and teaches people to think that they are better than other people because they are chosen by their God. And if you're teaching people that you are chosen, or that you're grafted in as redheaded stepchildren, then you are setting people up to be taught that one group is better than the other group. So how can you love the other group as you would love yourself if your religion and the culture that stems from that religion teaches that you're better than the other group? You're right. We don't know how to love one another because we do not know how to love ourselves. Because if we loved ourselves enough, when we would realize that the color of skin matters not, that your gender doesn't matter, your nationality doesn't matter, your religion doesn't matter when it comes to the treatment of other people. But that is not what religion teaches. Religion teaches separation and superiority. And that is one of the primary reasons most people don't know how to love themselves enough that they can love other people properly. But I am so grateful for your comment. Look forward to seeing you again. You have a great day, and always remember that you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey and good vibration. And you know you come from that Ross family, so you know you're great, girl.